It was around 11:23 p.m. when my phone started vibrating like it had a goddamn seizure. Amanda's name flashed across the screen in bold white letters. She was supposed to be out with her girls, doing whatever women do when they pretend husbands don't exist. I let it buzz a few times before picking up. I wasn't worried. I wasn't suspicious. I was tired. Bone tired. The kind of tired that comes from trusting someone with every cell of your body for years without ever asking for a receipt. The second I picked up, I knew something was wrong. Not wrong like emergency wrong. Wrong like... My stomach twisted and bile rose up my throat before my brain even understood why. The background noise was deafening. Shrieking laughter, glass shattering somewhere. The sticky bass of some go-doffel club track pounding into my skull. And Amanda's voice. Loud, careless, so different. "You know what's funny?" she slurred, and I could practically hear the tequila dripping off her words. "He thinks I'm with Jenna and those other boring cows." A guy's voice answered her, thick with amusement. "You're bad, girl." "Bad?" She giggled, drunk off her own cruelty. "I'm AF * king professional liar." And then, God help me, the wet, smacking sound of her kissing him. I pressed the phone tighter against my ear until it hurt. My hands started trembling, but I couldn't hang up. I needed to hear everything. Every rotten word. "He's probably at home right now, being all sweet, waiting for me like a dumb little puppy," she sneered. Pathetic. I could hear them moving, clothes shifting. Her breathing got heavier. His voice dropped lower. "Think he knows you *ked me in his car last month?" My body went rigid. My jaw locked so hard I thought I might crack a tooth. I wanted to believe this was some kind of prank. A sick joke. Anything but reality. But the casual cruelty in her laugh told me it was the truth. They were laughing at me, while I sat at home thinking she was out bonding over cosmos and gossip. For 6 straight minutes, my wife unknowingly streamed her betrayal directly into my ear like it was a goddamn live show. 6 minutes where the man I was, the one who believed in her, in us, withered and died in that living room. When the call finally cut off, I just sat there, staring at the dead phone screen. The silence was louder than the club music had ever been. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just existed for a long, poisonous moment. Like the universe had pushed a pause button on my life. A different kind of cold settled into my bones that night. Not the kind you shake off with a blanket or a hot shower. The kind that rewrites your DNA. I had no idea yet that this was just the start. That Amanda was going to show me just how deep the betrayal rabbit hole went. That this wasn't just about cheating, it was about who she really was. Someone I didn't know. Someone I never knew. But all that was still ahead. For now it was just me. And the deafening roar of a heart shattering into a million jagged pieces. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't even pretend to try. I sat in the same spot on the couch, phone still in hand, eyes locked on the door like some kind of rabid animal waiting for its prey to walk straight into its jaws. Every passing minute made my blood boil hotter, my thoughts darker. Midnight turned into 1 a.m., then 2 a.m. At 2:37, the front door clicked. Amanda stumbled in, heels clacking against the wood floor in chaotic rhythms, reeking of cheap vodka and expensive lies. Her makeup was smudged, hair wild, dress rumpled in a way that made my stomach churn. She didn't even notice me at first. She was too busy giggling to herself like a lunatic. When her eyes finally landed on me, her whole body jerked in surprise. "Jesus, Jason, you scared me. Why are you sitting in the dark like a weirdo?" she slurred. I didn't say anything. Not yet. I just stared at her, taking in every disgusting detail. The lipstick smeared across her chin, the love bite blooming on her neck like a brand. And that's when she made her first mistake. She tried to play it off. She tossed her purse onto the table and flopped onto the couch opposite me. Legs splayed out without a care in the world. "Girls' night was wild," she said, trying for casual. "You wouldn't have survived it." She laughed. The anger inside me sharpened into something cold and lethal. I pulled out my phone, opened the call log, and flipped the screen toward her. Her smile faltered. "You called me tonight," I said, voice low and steady. Too steady. 6 minutes. I heard everything, Amanda. For a moment, just a split second, I saw her real face. The one she never showed me. Panic, naked and ugly, flashing across her features before she slammed the mask back on. "You're being dramatic," she snapped, crossing her arms. "It was just flirting. Harmless. Everyone does it when they drink. Harmless." The word echoed in my head like a gunshot. I leaned forward, elbows on my knees, voice still dangerously calm. "Tell me, Amanda, do you usually flirt with your mouth around another guy's neck? Do you usually call me pathetic while doing it?" She rolled her eyes. Actually rolled her eyes. "God, Jason, don't be such AF asterisk king baby. Maybe if you weren't so boring, I wouldn't have to find fun somewhere else." There it was. The dagger right between my ribs, twisted with a smile. I sat back, stunned by how effortlessly cruel she was being. All those years, every "I love you," every "you're my soulmate," they meant nothing. Less than nothing. Dust in the wind. "You're unbelievable," I whispered. Amanda stood up, wobbling slightly on her heels. "Whatever," she said. "Grow a spine. This marriage has been dead for years, you just didn't notice because you're too wrapped up in your stupid little life." She said it like I was the disappointment. Like I should apologize to her. She turned, walking away from me, her heels clicking like gunshots down the hall to our bedroom, the bedroom we used to share, without a second glance. I didn't follow. I didn't argue. I just sat there, staring at the place where she used to be, feeling something vital snap inside me. I realized something chilling in that moment. She didn't just betray me physically. She didn't love me. Maybe she never had. The realization didn't make me cry. It made me furious. It made me dangerous. And for the first time since that call, a grim sort of clarity settled over me. I was done playing nice. Tomorrow, Amanda would learn that I wasn't the weak little puppy she thought she could kick around. Not anymore. The morning hit different. No birds chirping, no soft beams of sunlight through the curtains, just an oppressive, heavy silence that settled over the house like a storm cloud. Amanda was still passed out in our bed, her side, naturally. I stood at the door for a long time, just watching her sleep, seeing a stranger lying in my sheets. Her makeup smeared across the pillowcase, the faint mark of a hickey on her collarbone that she didn't even bother hiding. If I was anyone else, I might have smashed something. If I was dumber, I might have climbed into bed beside her and pretended nothing happened. But I wasn't that guy anymore. While she drooled into my pillow, I grabbed a notebook, the leather one Amanda had given me on our 3rd anniversary, with some cheesy inscription about forever, and started making a list. Not a list of grievances. Not a list of petty revenge fantasies. A list of facts. She lied about who she was with. She mocked me to her lover. She physically cheated on me. She gaslighted me when confronted. She blamed me for her behavior. Reading it back, something inside me clicked into place. Cold. Focused. Unshakable. I wasn't going to scream or beg or chase. I was going to bury her, not with violence, but with truth. I backed up everything on my phone, the call log, the recorded call. Thank God I had a call recorder app running automatically for work calls, ironies AB*TCH. Then I got to work. I messaged Jenna, the friend Amanda claimed she was out with. "Hey, just wanted to make sure Amanda made it home safe last night. Looked like you guys had fun at that club." Jenna's reply came 30 seconds later. "What? I thought she was with you? We didn't go out last night." Boom. Alibi obliterated in one shot. I moved fast after that, fueled by a kind of manic clarity. Opened a new bank account. Took pictures of every valuable thing in the house. Started copying receipts and statements. Booked a consultation with a lawyer. Pulled my name off every joint account I could without her signature. Every move calculated. Every step deliberate. At 11:42 a.m., Amanda stumbled into the kitchen, hair a tangled mess, wearing one of my old shirts like a trophy. She yawned like a queen surveying her kingdom, completely unaware that the walls were already closing in. "Morning," she said, voice scratchy. "Why are you up so early? You look like sh*T. I didn't even blink. "Meeting," I lied smoothly. "On a Saturday?" "Important one." She didn't press. Of course she didn't. She was too busy raiding the fridge for orange juice she didn't pay for. Watching her move around like nothing happened was surreal. Like watching a bomb casually ticking down in your living room. She didn't apologize. She didn't even pretend. She just assumed I'd get over it, like she could spit in my face and I'd say thank you for the attention. That's when it hit me hardest. Amanda wasn't sorry. Amanda didn't think she had anything to be sorry for. That made what was coming next even easier. Because people like her don't deserve clean exits. They deserve to be exposed, slowly, publicly, mercilessly. And me? I wasn't going to save her anymore. I was going to let the rope go slack and watch her hang herself with it. The best part? She wouldn't even see it coming. Sunday morning bled into Sunday afternoon. Amanda lounged around the house like a damn queen on her throne, flipping through her phone, sipping coffee she didn't deserve, complaining about how tired she was from her wild night. I barely listened. I just watched. It was like seeing a fox prance around in a henhouse after a slaughter. Arrogant. Careless. Stupid. I didn't need to do anything. She was setting fire to her own life without realizing she was holding the matches. By noon, she was FaceTiming someone in the bedroom, door half closed like she thought she was being subtle. Her voice dropped into that sugary, fake tone I hadn't heard her use with me in months. "Baby, I miss you already," she whined. Then a giggle. A giggle so fake it made my teeth grind. I recorded it. 37 seconds of Amanda making herself look like the whore she tried to hide from me. Evidence. Around 3 p.m. she decided she needed fresh air and disappeared. Probably to go slobber all over her side piece again. Perfect. I went into overdrive the second the door slammed behind her. Pulled out a hidden USB stick I kept for emergencies. Loaded every dirty little secret onto it, screenshots, audio files, bank statements showing mysterious cash withdrawals when she was at yoga. Every lie. Every betrayal. I wasn't just collecting evidence for a divorce. No. That would be too easy. Too clean. I wanted her to drown in her own filth first. So I got creative. I made copies. One USB hidden in the car. One taped inside the lining of my work jacket. One mailed to my brother with instructions to open it if he didn't hear from me in a week. Yeah, maybe it sounds paranoid. You've never seen the fire in Amanda's eyes when she's cornered. Then I called her mother. Sweet, proper, judgmental Beverly, the same woman who spent the first 5 years of our marriage acting like I wasn't good enough for her precious little girl. She answered on the third ring. "Jason? Oh, how lovely to hear from you." Lovely. Right? I kept my voice steady. Calm. "Hey, Bev. Just wanted you to know Amanda's been having a tough time lately. Thought maybe she could use some support. You know, since she's been seeing another man and lying about it." Dead. Silence. Not even a gasp. Just a cold, stunned nothingness. "Excuse me," she said finally, voice cracking like a twig. "You heard me," I said. "Thought you deserved to know your daughter turned out just like her father." Yeah. That was a low blow. But I was long past playing nice. I hung up before she could respond. Dropped the nuke and walked away from the blast. 5 minutes later, Amanda's phone started blowing up. Texts. Calls. More texts. She came storming through the front door like a Category 5 hurricane, shoving her phone in my face. "What the F***ck did you tell my mother?" she screamed. I stood there, arms crossed, face blank. "Only the truth, sweetheart? Isn't that what you always said you wanted?" She looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. No warmth. No love. Just shock and pure, seething hatred. Good. I wanted her off balance. I wanted her spinning so fast she didn't know which way was up. Because the real hit? The one that would actually shatter her fake little world? That was coming tomorrow. Monday morning. Bright and early. And Amanda had no idea. I barely slept that night. Again. But it wasn't from pain anymore, no, that ship had sailed. It was focus. Pure, surgical focus. Every move was already calculated. Every domino was lined up, just waiting for my finger to flick the first one. Amanda tossed and turned beside me, pretending to sleep, but her breathing was too jagged, too forced. She knew. Not everything, she wasn't smart enough to guess how bad it was about to get, but she knew the ground was starting to crack under her stilettos. At 7 a.m. sharp, I got dressed like it was just another Monday. Button-down shirt, slacks, polished shoes. Amanda stayed buried under the sheets, silent, pretending she didn't care. Pretending she wasn't terrified. Good. Let her stew in it. I grabbed my car keys, but instead of heading to work like usual, I drove across town to her office building, a towering glass box where Amanda strutted around like some kind of marketing goddess. I timed everything perfectly. At 7:45, I parked across the street, USB drive burning a hole in my pocket, watching the lobby through the windshield. Amanda's boss, Rob, arrived like clockwork, coffee in one hand, Bluetooth earpiece jammed in his ear. He was the perfect mark, a noble *T kind of guy who hated scandal more than taxes. At 7:50, I crossed the street, walked right into the lobby, and asked for him at the front desk. Polite. Friendly. Professional. 5 minutes later, I was in his office. I didn't waste time. I dropped the USB on his mahogany desk like a grenade. Everything you need to know about Amanda's recent Extracurricular activities is on there, I said evenly, including the part where she used company time and resources to play house with her boyfriend. Rob blinked at me like I'd slapped him. Why are you telling me this? He asked. I smiled, a real one, sharp enough to draw blood. Because I'm divorcing her. And I figured you should know before it stains your company too. I left him sitting there, shell-shocked, before he could even respond. By the time Amanda waltzed into the office at 9 a.m. in her little power suit and fake smile, the walls were already closing in. Rob summoned her to his office within minutes. I sat in my car across the street, watching through binoculars like it was a private screening of the best movie ever made. 30 minutes later, Amanda stormed out of the building, red-faced and trembling, clutching a cardboard box with her crap shoved into it. Fired. No screaming. No tantrum. Just pure, soul-deep humiliation. Delivered cold. It still wasn't enough. Not yet. I waited until she got home, still wearing her heels, still clutching the box like it could somehow save her from drowning, before I dropped the final bomb. The divorce papers. I slapped them on the kitchen counter like a death warrant. Thick stack. Neatly clipped. Ironclad. Amanda stood there staring at them, frozen like a rabbit under a hawk's shadow. Sign them, I said flatly. Or I release everything to your friends. Your family. Hell, maybe even the local PTA. You know how much they love a scandal. She'd been volunteering for charity events for months, gotta keep up the good wife image, right? Her mouth opened and closed like a dying fish. For the first time, she couldn't find words. Couldn't lie. Couldn't manipulate. I was holding all the cards now. And she knew it. Tears welled up in her eyes, crocodile tears, maybe real, who cares, and she whispered. Jason, please, can't we talk about this? Talk? Now she wanted to talk? After months of lying, sneaking, humiliating me behind my back like some cruel little hobby? I almost laughed in her face. There's nothing left to say, Amanda, I said, voice so calm it scared even me. You burned this to the ground. I'm just sweeping up the ashes. She signed. Hand shaking. Mascara running. Dignity bleeding out all over the kitchen floor. And me? I felt nothing. No guilt. No sadness. No second-guessing. Just freedom. Cold, clean, beautiful freedom. Amanda didn't say a word after she signed. No apology. No explanation. Just that broken, stunned silence, the kind that only happens when a person realizes they're not the predator anymore. They're prey. I scooped up the papers, slid them neatly into a folder, and left them on the counter like a completed business transaction. No fanfare. No drama. I wasn't giving her even the satisfaction of a goodbye speech. Amanda just stood there in the kitchen in her rumpled office clothes, mascara streaked down her cheeks like battle scars, still clutching that pathetic box of crap from her now former job. Every illusion she ever built, marriage, career, reputation, lay in smoldering ruins around her. I didn't even look back when I walked out the door. The air outside was cold. Crisp. It felt cleaner than it had in years. Like the rot that had infected my life was finally being exhaled out of my lungs. I drove without a destination at first, just letting the engine hum under my hands, windows down, wind slapping my face awake. Part of me expected some wave of sadness to crash over me. Some crushing loneliness. But it didn't come. There was only a strange, razor-sharp peace. It hit me somewhere around the city limits. I hadn't lost Amanda. I had lost a lie. I pulled into a diner off the highway, one of those places with sticky tables and terrible coffee, and parked myself in a booth by the window. Just me, a greasy burger, a black coffee, and a future wide open in front of me. And while I ate, I thought about the wreckage she left behind. All the girls' nights that were just covers. All the family holidays where she smiled at my parents, kissed me in public, and probably texted her side piece under the table. All the moments I doubted myself, wondering if I was crazy for feeling the distance growing between us. Every memory corrupted now. Every smile she gave me, every whispered, I love you, at 2 a.m., every inside joke we shared, it all felt like a trick. A scam. A performance. And the worst part? She didn't even think she was doing anything wrong. In Amanda's world, loyalty was for suckers. Kindness was weakness. And love? Love was just a tool to keep a better life within reach. I realized something then. She never really loved me. Not who I actually was. She loved the idea of me. The house. The stability. The future I offered her on a silver platter. And the second she got bored, the second the shine wore off, she trashed it. Me. And laughed while doing it. That hurt. Not because I missed her *ck no, but because I had given her everything without ever holding back. And she took it like it was nothing. Disposable. Replaceable. But here's the thing Amanda never understood. Some things, once broken, don't just heal. They transform. She didn't break me. She reforged me. Stronger. Harder. Smarter. The old Jason, the trusting, loyal, naive husband, was dead. Gone. The new me? I wasn't wasting another breath on anyone who saw me as a backup plan. I paid the check, left cash on the table, and walked out into the cold wind with my head high. No more Amanda. No more pretending. No more apologizing for being the man I am. It was time to rebuild. Not with her. Not for her. For me. It didn't take long for Amanda to realize that her fall from grace wasn't going to be a quiet one. The texts started rolling in first. That night, while I sat on the couch in my new apartment, cheap, small, nothing fancy, but mine, the notifications wouldn't stop. Buzz. 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 Jason, please just talk to me. You're blowing this way out of proportion. We can fix this. Fix this? What was she trying to fix, the marriage or her reputation? No, scratch that. The only thing Amanda cared about fixing was her image. I didn't answer. Not when she tried guilt. Not when she tried anger. Not even when she tried seduction, sending old photos that used to mean something. I was done speaking the language of lies. But it got worse. So much worse. By Tuesday, her little circle of friends knew. Turns out when you tell one loudmouth the truth, it spreads like wildfire. Especially juicy truths, the kind that rip apart the picture-perfect facade someone like Amanda worked her whole life to build. Jenna texted me first. I am so sorry. I had no idea. We thought you two were like goals or something. This is insane. Insane? No. This was Amanda unmasked. Then came the social media fallout. Posts disappearing. Pictures vanishing. Status updates changing from married to Jason to nothing at all. Friends unfriending. Comments piling up under old pictures, fake smiles, fake lives, fake marriage. I watched it unfold from the sidelines like a man watching his old house burn down, knowing there's nothing inside worth saving. Amanda tried to spin it, of course. She posted some half-assed story about how sometimes two people just grow apart and wish each other the best, painting herself as the tragic heroine of a love story gone wrong. Bullsh*T. I didn't respond. Didn't comment. Didn't correct her. Because I knew the truth and the people who mattered would find it out soon enough. And they did. Her mother, Beverly, the self-righteous queen herself, showed up at my new apartment uninvited. Standing there in the cold, wrapped in her overpriced coat, face pale and drawn. I almost slammed the door in her face. Almost. But a part of me wanted to hear what she had to say. To look the woman who helped raise a monster straight in the eyes. I'm so sorry, she whispered, voice cracking. I don't know what happened to her. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, heart like a stone in my chest. Maybe she was always like this, I said. And you were just too busy polishing the outside to see how rotten it was underneath. Beverly flinched like I slapped her. Good. I didn't need her pity. I didn't need her guilt. I sure as hell didn't need her forgiveness. She left without another word. Just shuffled back to her Lexus and drove away, looking 10 years older than when she arrived. And me? I went back inside, shut the door, and locked it behind me. Every chain. Every bolt. Not because I was afraid. Because I was free. Amanda wasn't done trying, though. That night she called. I watched the screen flash her name, Amanda, like some sick joke. I let it ring. And ring. And ring. Finally, the voicemail clicked on. Her voice, shaky, pathetic. Please, Jason. I made a mistake. I didn't mean to hurt you. We can fix it. Please. I love you. Sniffles. A broken little laugh. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Please don't throw us away. I stared at the phone long after the message ended. Not because I was tempted. Not because I felt anything. But because of how small her voice sounded. How powerless. The great Amanda, the manipulator, the queen bee, the woman who thought she could crush hearts like beer cans, reduced to a begging whisper. It should have satisfied me. It should have made me feel victorious. It didn't. Because winning against someone like Amanda isn't a victory. It's just escaping the wreckage. And thank God I did. The days after the voicemail were quiet. Too quiet. And with Amanda, silence wasn't peace. Silence was plotting. I knew her well enough to know she wasn't just going to fade away, licking her wounds. Amanda wasn't built like that. She didn't know how to lose gracefully. She didn't know how to lose it all. And right on schedule, the next phase of her pathetic little war began. Friday afternoon, as I was leaving work, I got a call from an unknown number. Normally I ignore those. But something made me pick up this time. Instinct, maybe? Jason Matthews? Yeah. Who's this? This is Officer Langston with the city police. We need you to come down to the station. It's regarding a report filed against you. Report? The words felt like ice down my spine. Amanda. Had to be. And I was right. I sat in that sterile little interrogation room staring at a file labeled with my name while Officer Langston explained with uncomfortable, professional detachment that Amanda had filed a harassment complaint. She claimed I was stalking her, threatening her, endangering her emotional well-being. I almost laughed right there in the chair. It was such a weak, transparent move that it didn't even sting. Just made me hate her a little bit more, if that was even possible. She wasn't trying to get justice. She was trying to control the narrative. Trying to paint herself as the victim before the real story leaked too far into the world. Pathetic. I calmly explained everything, the divorce, the cheating, the evidence, the recorded phone call. Officer Langston's eyebrows shot up when I mentioned that. I handed over the USB drive like it was a piece of candy. You're free to go, Mr. Matthews, Langston said after an hour. Looks like she forgot we check phone records before we believe fairy tales. Checkmate. I walked out of that police station lighter than I had felt in years. Amanda had officially burned every last bridge. Family? Gone. Friends? Gone. Job? Gone. Reputation? Publicly shredded. And now the law? She couldn't even twist that to her side anymore. She sent one last text that night. A long, rambling paragraph about how sorry she was, how lost she felt, how she didn't know what she was doing, how she needed help, how I was the only person who ever really loved her. And you know what? For the first time I almost pitied her. Almost. But pity is for the weak. And I wasn't weak anymore. I stared at the message for a few seconds, then did what I should have done the moment she first started lying to me. I deleted it. Blocked her number. Blocked her email. Blocked every social media account she could ever use to slither back into my life. I didn't need an apology. I didn't need closure. Amanda wasn't a chapter in my life anymore. She was a footnote. A warning sign. A blood-red flag I would never ignore again. Some betrayals you survive. Others you rise from, like a man digging himself out of a grave someone else tried to bury him in. And me? I wasn't just alive. I was free. And Amanda? She was just a ghost. A whisper behind a locked door that would never open again. The first real morning of my new life didn't come with trumpets or sunshine or some Hollywood epiphany. It came with silence. Pure, heavy silence. No buzzing phone. No fake smiles over burnt coffee. No knives waiting behind honeyed words. Just me. An empty apartment. A future no longer infected by Amanda's poison. For the first time in years I could breathe without tasting lies in the air. But rebuilding from nothing wasn't easy. It wasn't glamorous. It was brutal. I didn't just lose a wife. I lost mutual friends who chose her side without even asking for the truth. I lost connections we had built together. I lost a version of myself I would never get back, the guy who used to believe loyalty meant something. There were days I woke up and had to fight the bitterness out of my mouth like bile. There were nights when sleep wouldn't come because the betrayal replayed itself in my brain like a broken film reel. But every time I started to sink, I remembered one simple truth. She didn't win. Amanda thought she could wreck my life and walk away unscathed. She thought I would crawl back, beg, forgive. She didn't expect the part of me she murdered would be replaced with something sharper, harder, colder. She didn't expect that the man she cheated on was the same man who would burn the whole King castle down with her still inside. I started small, fixed my credit, changed all my passwords, cut off everyone who even remotely smelled like toxicity. I worked out. Hard. Every drop of sweat was another lie leaving my body. I traveled. Even if it was just short trips out of town, places we never went together. New memories. New air. I dated too, eventually. Carefully. No illusions this time. No blind faith. And the women I met, some good, some bad, all helped me piece together one undeniable reality. I wasn't broken. I wasn't hard to love. I just gave my heart to a woman who didn't deserve to hold it. And honestly, that wasn't my shame. It was hers. Amanda became a cautionary tale in our old circles. The girl who crashed and burned so spectacularly that nobody could even pretend not to stare. Rumors spread about her job, her failed rebound flings, her desperate attempts to claw back relevance. Last I heard, she moved 2 towns over, trying to start fresh under a new Instagram handle, a new haircut, pretending she wasn't the architect of her own downfall. And me? I didn't care. Not anymore. Amanda was a ghost story I'd tell myself when I needed to remember what survival looked like. Not bitterness. Not revenge. Freedom. You know what they don't tell you about freedom? It's heavy. Real freedom, the kind you rip from the jaws of betrayal and heartbreak, doesn't float in on a warm breeze. It slams down like a sword, two-handed, splitting your old life clean in two. It takes time to learn how to carry it without letting it crush you. But I did. 1 year later, standing on a pier 100 miles away from the town where Amanda wrecked us, I finally understood what survival actually meant. Not just existing. Not just moving through the days like a ghost. But living. Living without apology. Without fear. Amanda? She's somewhere out there, still clawing her way through Tinder profiles, still lying to new people, still patching up the cracks with duct tape and cheap perfume. Still pretending. She didn't grow. She didn't change. And that's the real punishment, one far worse than anything I could have dished out. She's stuck being her. Every morning she wakes up and looks in the mirror, she's forced to see the same person who torched everything good that ever tried to love her. Meanwhile, me? I built something stronger out of the rubble. New friends. Real ones. People who didn't vanish the second the facade crumbled. New passions. Things I never had time for when I was busy babysitting Amanda's fragile ego. And one day, when I least expected it, a new love. Not rushed. Not forced. Someone who looked me dead in the eye and saw me scars, bruises, lessons and all, and didn't flinch. Someone who earned my trust piece by hard-won peace, not because they were perfect, but because they were real. Freedom gave me all of that. Not Amanda. Not forgiveness. Not closure. Just raw, brutal truth, the kind that cuts deep enough to set you free. If you're reading this and you're where I was, sitting on a couch at midnight, listening to the woman you loved giggle in another man's ear, hear me loud and clear. You survive. You rebuild. And someday you don't even think about them anymore unless it's as a warning. You don't just heal. You evolve.